Hello, 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 all my beautiful planty people. Welcome to my channel, Hooked on Houseplants. My name is Darlena, aka Chula, and welcome. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my channel. Today, as you probably guessed in the thumbnail, I am going to be showing you some plants that I cut, chopped, made shorter, unlengthened. You know, I probably made that word up. I can't think of no more synonyms for cut, but anyway, I'm gonna be showing y'all some plants that I decided to cut back. Okay, so a lot of us decide to cut our plants because of aesthetic reasons. They're leggy. I know that's a big one for me. I do not like leggy plants. And for some of you newer plant people, leggy is when the plant like loses all of its lower leaves and it's kind of just like this stalk and then everything's up at the top like a palm tree. Some people don't mind that look. I personally don't like it. So sometimes I will chop back my plants to make them less leggy. Some people do it, I guess maybe if their plant has been severely affected by pests, they may need to chop it back for that reason. Or sometimes just root rot. If your plant rots, sometimes you might need to chop it back for that reason. So these plants that I'm going to show you, I basically chop them for. The reason why I chop back these plants that I'm going to show you is because I just really did not like the way they were looking. Now, most of these plants that you're going to see were in my Monstera Madness video, which I will link if you haven't seen it. Some of these were on poles. I think one was like on a green moss pole, but it wasn't like one of those poles that most people make, you know, the plastic poles and they stuff moss down in them. No, it was just it came that way. It was just like a green pole with like moss on it. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But I didn't like the look of it, and to be honest, I'm not into moss poles. I do have some plants that are on stakes because I do recognize that some plants, they do need to be staked up, definitely. But I just cannot get into the whole moss pole thing. I've done it in the past, and for me, they're just kind of hard to maintain. So if I can think of a way to not put a plant on a moss pole, but still give it some type of support, then I would do so. So anyway, the first plant that I chopped was my Rapidortus Sperma. This is a very common helicopter. This is a very common plant that most people have. Some people call it the mini monstera, although it's not a monstera, it is an aroid. But I decided to chop this back because I just didn't like the way that it looked. I wanted to look a little fuller. So my plans with this plant is, what I would like to do is find a place to put it where it can climb all the way up the wall, and I just love that. I'm going to insert a picture or some pictures of people that have theirs climbing up the wall. I think it looks really nice that way. But yeah, so I took advantage also when I chopped this plant. I rooted it in water, and now it's in pond, and you can see those roots. Let me see. There's another one right there. So it's doing very well. And yes, I have her in a Florida Crystals cane sugar container. Okay? Yeah. Because sometimes, y'all, I don't have containers and stuff get empty in the kitchen. I'll be like, you know what? That container will be a good container for one of my plants. So yes, I save these. So that's what Miss Rapidortus Sperma is in. And I'm liking the look of her. She's already starting to look more full. So, like I said, I haven't 100% decided what I want to do with her, but I would like to see her climb because I think that would look nice. So I don't know if I'm gonna find a spot for her inside my house or keep her out here. Let me know what y'all think I should do. Okay, so plant number 2 is a monstera. This is my monstera silta. And when you last saw this plant, she was on that green moss pole thing that I was telling you about. And to me, when I was just looking at that video, I just felt like she just looked so raggedy. I just did not like how she was looking. So I cut her back a lot. And I'm not trying to do no propagations either. I'm not trying to save no propagations. So the pieces that I cut off, I just put them in the trash because I just, I don't need multiples. I don't need no propagations. I'm trying to downsize. So yeah, this is what's left of her. When she starts to grow out, I don't know yet what I'm going to do with her. I might see how she looks trailing. But let me know down in the comments what y'all think I should do with her. I'm not going to put her on another pole, so that is what she's looking like. Okay, so next up is another monstera. This is the Adoni. And this particular one I have in a couscous container. Some of y'all might be like, what is couscous? My husband is like on this health kick, and so he's trying to get away from eating a lot of rice and pasta. So I think he said that this is supposed to be like a healthier version. They're like little pasta balls, kind of. They're real little, but to be honest, I really don't know what they are. I know they're supposed to be more healthy, but anyway, I know y'all like, we don't care. But yeah, this is the Adoni that I also cut all the way back. She was also on a mouse pole situation or setup. Didn't like the look of her. I really don't want her to climb. I have seen a lot of y'all with this plant and you just have it like sitting up on a tall shelf and it's kind of just trailing down nicely. So I just want to see what she's going to do and how she's going to be looking. I think I already like her better like this because she just looks so full and healthy. And this is the wide form of the Adoni. So once again, feel free to let me know down in the comments what y'all think I should do with this plant. Okay. So next up is my Hoya Pox or calyx. Now, if y'all remember, which I'm going to try to insert a picture, this thing was a beast. She just had tendrils just like going all over the place and just all over the place, just sloppy, just messy. And I cut this one out. When I say that I chopped this plant, I chopped it like I did because this thing was huge. And it's already like starting to grow out again. So if you are new to the Hoya world and you want an easy Hoya that grows like not like crazy, try the pubicalyx. Okay. So yeah, I cut her all the way back and rooted her back up in water. So since she had water roots, I decided to put her into pond. And in another video, I am going to talk about or go more in depth about pond and how sometimes with some plants you have to really be careful putting them into pond. But since I had to reroot her anyway and I put her in water, she had water roots, so that's why she's doing so well in pond now. And I have her on a nice trellis, and that is what she's looking like, y'all. My pubicalyx. Some of the leaves are really long. Look at that one, it's very pretty. That leaf. Look at that splash. Isn't that pretty? It's another really splashy one. Okay, so last but not least, another plant that was on the chopping block. Now, if you remember, this plant was absolutely huge. Okay, it was huge, and it was like basically a bush. It was like, I want to say 4.5 feet tall. This is the philodendron Burl Marx. Actually, it was supposed to be the Burl Marx variegated. So I was able to sell the huge mother plant. And if I find a picture, I'm going to try to insert it. Or if you look at my very first video, my houseplant tour that I did back in June, I believe, the plant is in that video, as well as the first update video I think that I did. But I'm going to try to insert a picture so you can see how big she was. And to be honest, I really don't even know why I kept a cutting of this plant. I like it. It's really easy to grow, but I really don't want this plant to get huge again, because that's why I sold the mother plant, because it was just getting too big and I really didn't have the room for it. This is another good plant for a beginner. It grows very easily, the Burl Marx. There's the regular green version, and then there's also the variegated version, but half the time the variegated version doesn't even stay variegated. But it's very easy to grow, and it's a beautiful plant. Since I took a cutting, of course, I rooted this in water. So she had water roots, and I was able to put her in pond. You might be able to see some of the roots there. Now I know some of y'all probably thinking, and she was already ghetto for putting it in an old sugar container, but she could have at least took off the label. It's hard getting these labels off. My husband said if you run them under hot water, they come off easier or something like that, I think he said. But I did try, y'all, but I just got lazy. It was just too hard to get this label off. But anyway, so this is a cutting from that huge plant. And since we're talking about this plant, this is also a cutting from that big mother plant. Look, y'all, I'm always looking for an excuse to show this. This is one of my favorite plants right now, in case you didn't know. This is the same, from the same plant, both of these. And the big, huge mother plant, it only had maybe like 4 leaves that were variegated. And so I told myself I really want a variegated, all variegated version of this plant. So I took this cutting and I said, whenever a green leaf, an all green leaf grows on it, I'm gonna cut it off because I want it to stay variegated. And so far, sister she has understood her assignment, because as you can see, all of her leaves are variegated. This is a new one that's opening up, that's variegated. And this one is going to be variegated as well. And if you notice, I had to pot her. I had to put her in a larger vessel because this thing I was adding water to it like every other day, and already, I think I put water in it 2 days ago, and you can see that already the water is down to here. So this is a thirsty plant, and you can see how good those roots look. So yeah, so this is also part of a plant that I chopped. All right. So that is going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you can take anything away from this video, just know that it's okay to start over. Sometimes starting over can be the best thing that a person can do in every sense of the word. But when it comes to plants, if you don't like the way they look, or if you want to change the way that they're growing, don't be afraid to cut them. A lot of plants actually like to be pruned, and they do better and grow better when you do prune them or cut them. So never be afraid to do that. You know, if you want your plant to look or grow a certain way, cut it back if you want. All right. So if you enjoyed this content, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. For all of you who are already subscribed, don't forget to hit that notification button so you know when your Chula puts out some new planty content. And check me out on Instagram. All right. Thank you so much, y'all, for being here. Don't forget to let me know down in the comments your suggestions as far as what I should do with some of these plants. I would love to hear from you. And also let me know if you have been cutting back a lot of your plants and why. All right. So y'all take care. Hooked on houseplants, y'all. Bye.